Well, let's see what this new watch is all about. This episode of SomeGadgetGuy is brought to you by viewers like you. All of the amazing people who share content from their favorite YouTube channels, and the incredible generosity of my patrons on patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. More info on those awesome nerds later in the video. I am still recovering from the COVID, but I wanted to spend a little time with you fine folks out there in YouTube land, taking this new piece of tech out of the box and getting it set up. OnePlus Watch 2 has been one of my favorite Wear OS watches, and it's an amazing alternative, especially price to performance against a lot of other players like the Pixel Watch and the Galaxy watches. So now OnePlus is giving us another option to play with here. And in true OnePlus fashion, we're looking at tech that's going to be very aggressively focused on price. This tab does not want to open cleanly. From the OnePlus Watch 2 to this OnePlus Watch 2R, I'm actually really happy to see the strategy that OnePlus is using. I thought this was going to end up being a proper successor to the original OnePlus Watch, which was more of a fitness band. It used an RTOS, and that's the secondary mode that we have on the OnePlus Watch 2. You can turn off all the Wear OS stuff and have significantly better battery life with something that's still going to give you notifications, track your fitness, and sync up with your phone. I'm really interested in seeing what OnePlus does here. Some handy little guides just detailing the hardware on the watch, where the home button is, this multifunction button, and where the NFC area is going to be on the watch, and we can now peel this off. And kind of interesting to see the bezel design. I actually thought from some of the press photos that we saw that this was just going to be like a lighting accent, but no, it really is green up top and white underneath. It's kind of hard to tell from some of the renders. We've got a rubbery, sporty band here. It feels lightweight, but this might make it a little more difficult to kind of pair up with other watch straps. Like I went with a maroon leather on my OnePlus Watch 2. I don't think maroon and green would work as well together. Before I even boot it up, we've got good clicky action on the buttons. Another protective strip for some of the back. Interesting to me that they're protecting more of the back casing, but not the actual like light sensors for your heart rate. And getting in there, I'm always happy to see traditional watch strap. This is a 22mm band. If you've got traditional watch straps, you can fit them right over. I actually do have a blue dyed leather strap that might look okay with the green accent on the watch face. I'll have to play with that later. And the rest of the box, the other thing that I'm kind of interested in seeing is what the charging situation is gonna be here. We've got all the papers. I don't know how much we really need to look at this stuff. And then we wanna get this one open. We've got a little cable here. So that's a USB-C to USB-A, and a little charge puck. This is my charge puck from the OnePlus Watch 2, and this looks virtually identical for the 2R. So in the same way that we can sometimes criticize watches that use pogo pins, like the Pixel Watch went from using magnetic wireless charging to going back to pogo pins, I'm always happy to see a consistency in the type of charger. So now it looks like I'll be able to use my Watch 2 or 2R charger with either watches, kind of like what Mobvoi has done for the last several generations of TicWatch. All right, I'm just gonna kind of close up the box here and get rid of the plastic and the shelf and the papers. I'm gonna put this on the charger here and see if we can start the setup process while it's kind of charging up. I have no idea how much charge is actually on the watch as they shipped it to me. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up with my OnePlus 12, just like my OnePlus Watch 2 is connected to my OnePlus 12, and I kind of like the synergy. We've got green on green, even though the greens don't quite match between the phone and the watch. Pretty close. I guess it's pretty cool. Turning on my OnePlus 12 phone screen, we already have a setup page. I'm gonna go ahead and hit connect, connecting to the OnePlus Watch. We've got the confirmation pin. That was nice and easy. Going through the terms of service. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree to all this stuff. Now it's preparing. Oh, and the pairing failed. Your OHealth has been paired with another wearable device. No more devices can be paired. This is a little annoying. On my TicWatch, I can't use two watches at the same time, but the app can at least sync up multiple watches. Here, unfortunately, OHealth is gonna make me delete my OnePlus Watch 2 and then transfer this over. So instead, I think what I'm gonna do is go over to my OnePlus Open, which I don't have a watch connected. We got the same pair and pin. Let me go ahead and confirm on both sides. And now it's gonna make me go through the OHealth setup because I haven't had a watch paired with this. I haven't had a OnePlus Watch paired with my OnePlus Open. I'm gonna agree to the OHealth statement, allow OHealth to send notifications, allow for nearby devices. I agree. I'm gonna go ahead and tap English United States. Oh, and it's just telling me to do the pairing here on O Health. Nice little star field animation as we're doing the pairing process. They're talking back and forth, saying continue the setup on my phone. We're gonna get into our preferred wrist. I wear mine on my left. We're gonna allow for syncing up all of these right here. That's a fun little abbreviation for all of the permissions you're gonna give a wearable. So let's just go ahead and hit allow. And now it's gonna go ahead and go through this preparing the watch. I'll fast forward through this part of the setup. Obtaining my Google account information. All right, I'm selecting the account that I want to use. Oh, and I've got to do my biometric. Go ahead. I'm going to put that back down. Now it's signing into my accounts. We're not going through that old Wear OS process of like manually logging in with username and password, which is pretty nice. I think Wear OS has finally evolved a bit out of that. Google Assistant, we definitely want to set that up. Partners and services, I'm just going to hit next. Now we're going to select a lock screen. I use a numeric password on my lock screen. Let me go ahead and shield this so you can't see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to confirm that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me tell you, it's not as easy as it looks to say different numbers than what you're actually setting up. Select apps for the watch. I'm going to take a quick look, but I don't think I really use anything else here for the different services. It'll just sync up my WhatsApp account. I think that's probably as good as we're going to get. Oh, and then here's another reminder that for payment apps and services, it's on that edge of the bezel. I can go ahead and hit continue. And we're completing the setup. About device management. Your wearable device is no longer linked to your account. If you are not signed into your account, wearable devices paired with this phone are also displayed. And I really wish OnePlus would allow us to store an additional watch. I think that's actually a little frustrating. And this is what's kind of exciting to me is we're seeing these notes on smart mode and we've got 70% charge. So I mean, I could really just pull this off the charger right now and use it, but I'm gonna go ahead and let it kind of continue charging while we finish up the last little bits of setup here. And taking a quick look at the watch itself, I'm gonna just turn on the screen. We've got that VOOC charging. It is, I mean, these are fast charging watches, especially for how long the battery life is. Here we get, hello, learn how to use your new watch. So I'll hit okay. Let's start with swipes. And we swipe up for notifications and it's doing notifications. You can view notifications from the watch face. Then we swipe down for the control center. You can access control center from the watch face. Swipe right to go back. And now we've got tiles. I mean, again, this is the modern Wear OS interface here. So I'm really happy to see that this seems to be very similar to the OnePlus Watch 2. And we can swipe left or right between different tiles. So let's learn about the side buttons. We press the home button. That's going to bring up, yep, the custom watch face here. This is not Wear OS. This is what OnePlus is doing to make something look a little more Apple Watchy, where we've just got a grid of apps and it animates so fluidly. Go ahead and click that again. I just returned, that's correct. Press the home button while on the watch face to view apps. Yeah, we just did that. Now the multifunction button to open workouts. So I like that this is now customized to start with workouts. So that's pretty smart, but we can also change this if we want to do something else. So we can press and hold the home button to talk with Google Assistant. Now on my OnePlus Open, I am not using Google Gemini. So let's hold this. How far away is the Earth from the moon?
The moon is about 238,900 miles from Earth.
I think that's probably correct. I'm telling you, I know like we're all trying to switch over to do the AI, but for these basic searches, I don't know, I think old school Google Assistant is working faster. So we done that. Double press the home button to open the recently used apps. Okay, I like this. So we programmed this for workouts. So you can go directly to a workout, but here, if we want to do something recent, it's a double tap. And I like that functionality. That's sharp. I really like that. There's something funny that this is a full build of Android, and it's difficult to kind of get back to something that you were doing. There is no traditional multitasking kind of setup. So every watch handles something like that, just a little different. I wonder, is there a double tap on... Oh, and that opens up Google Wallet. So that is great functionality. So you can go to workouts or you can go directly to payments directly off that bottom customized switch out of the box. But you can always change up for the things that you do use the most. The last thing for this initial setup that I want to take a look at is this little icon right there, which should switch us between power modes. So this is huge. It really seems like OnePlus isn't changing the functionality between their more expensive watch and their less expensive watch. So if we go into Power Saver, only workout and health functions are available. Your watch battery should last about 12 days between charges. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. And this is gonna turn off all of the Wear OS stuff, and it's gonna turn the Watch 2R into a basic fitness tracker instead of a fully Android-powered wrist computer. Okay, I'm just kind of a dork. The watch went through a reboot because I still had the charger attached to it. So when you go in and you hit this to go into your power saver mode, which you can see it's in power saver mode right now, if the charger is connected, it reboots and immediately brings you back into the Wear OS mode. So we still have a similar watch face because this is one of the OnePlus stock watch faces. So they made a version for both Wear OS and RTOS. We still have similar tiles when we swipe to the side. So that's very, very similar. You don't notice those differences. But when we hit the home button, we don't have that animated grid. This is a simpler presentation because there are fewer apps that you can use in the RTOS mode. You can see how well featured this still is as a fitness tracker. And that's really exciting. This is not changing the functionality between the more expensive watch and the less expensive watch. Our estimates are still very similar. So if this is telling me I can get up to 12 hours in RTOS mode, that's exactly the same as the OnePlus Watch 2. I can easily get just about 4 days of runtime away from the charger using the watch all day, but I don't do sleep tracking. And the same estimate is here. If I go into RTOS mode, this watch estimates that I can get about 12 days of runtime as a simpler fitness band. I think that's the most exciting aspect of the OnePlus Watch 2R. Going from the more expensive watch to the less expensive watch, we're not changing up the functionality. I still have heart rate detection, blood ox, I still have a compass, I still have all the same sensors and support. The experience is almost exactly the same, but what I think has changed up is the build material. The OnePlus Watch 2R uses an aluminum casing, and I believe it's some kind of treated glass, like a Gorilla Glass front face. The OnePlus Watch 2 is more expensive, but it uses stainless steel and a sapphire front face. And also just the little differences on the design and the accent. The two buttons are just separate buttons as opposed to having this kind of bridged, almost cylinder connector between the two, but they look like they came from the same family, like they're from the same manufacturer. OnePlus is making some very targeted and some huge strategic moves in bringing functionality down to lower prices, and in ways that I'm not sure consumers would really feel the differences between the different products. You would just know if you wanted the more expensive build materials, that's what's going to increase the cost of the watch. I'm gonna go ahead and let this fully charge. You see I snapped the charger on, and now we got that little OnePlus. It's got to reboot the watch and get into Wear OS mode. I'm gonna put this through its paces, but I can already tell you from this very, very early first look, this initial reaction, a lot of what I love about the OnePlus Watch 2 is already here. Just like the OnePlus Watch 2, and similar to what I like about Mobvoi and the Tick watches, this is a 2-watch-in-1 strategy that brings phenomenal battery life to the table. A phenomenal first impression, exactly what I wanted to see in a follow-up watch from OnePlus. And of course, the people who are going to get to see some of that coverage first are my amazing patrons, who know that my code is 12345, and they get first look at a lot of my coverage, testing, benchmarks. They're a really awesome group of people. I greatly appreciate everyone who is able to support their favorite YouTube content creators. Maybe you're out there sharing videos on social media. But if you have the means, I hope you'll check out the community at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. There's an early access tier. They get the private Discord, the 4K videos. They're just a really good group of geeks, and I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy, pretty much everywhere, but these days I'm trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons, a little less so on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and definitely not on the Twitters. And I will catch you all on a follow-up video to this with a proper review.